Hi, I'm Mike, and welcome to Retro Boost. I talked about auto gain calibration on the RetroTINK 4K Pro last year, showing a variety of examples with that. Very cool feature. One thing I wasn't able to do at the time is perform calibrations like that on my 5X Pro, but now I can, and I'm very excited to share the results of running an ADC calibration with the 5X Pro. This is not going to be a guide on how you do the calibration, because there's already great resources for that out there that I don't just want to repeat verbatim. So as far as performing the calibration itself, I'll be showing my process of how I did it myself, but it's not going to be like a step-by-step guide. I would refer you to Wobbling Pixel's great video on this subject, along with companion material, the console mods wiki page for the 5X Pro, two amazing resources to get you going. What I'm most excited to share are the results of that calibration on 4 different consoles, both versions of my Super Nintendo, a unmodified 2-chip system, and my modified 1-chip system, modified by RetroFixes, awesome work, and then also the Wii, and just for fun, the PS3 with Component. So let's get into what the calibration is and the basics on how I did it for each of these systems. So what is ADC calibration and why does it matter? Well, simply put, ADC calibration is a brightness calibration and color balance calibration that the RetroTINK 5X Pro has a whole menu suite for dialing in. The 4K Pro has this with one button press, but for the 5X Pro it's a manual process. And the biggest issue with this is not how to do the calibration. That process is actually deceptively simple. The main issue is getting the right source to do the calibration, because unlike the 4K Pro with certain sources and color and cable types, you can't just press the button and go. You need to have color bars coming from the console to run this calibration properly with the 5X Pro. And that's the biggest obstacle to doing it, because for some consoles that can be a relatively simple process to get. For others, you need a flash cart to run the 240p test suite as a ROM on the console to accomplish this. And that's something that I've recently acquired, got myself a Super EverDrive, which opened the possibility to doing this calibration on my Super Nintendo. So that's the means I'm using to perform that calibration for the Super Nintendo examples, because you can run the 240p test suite app, game, ROM from the flash cart, which then gives you access to the color bar menu to perform the calibration. I also did this for the Wii and the PS3. For the Wii, as I demonstrated in my auto gain video for the 4K Pro, that's one of the easier ones to get the 240p test suite on, because you can download it as its own app in the USB loader homebrew app, and then can run the calibration from there. And then just as like a funny bonus, I did it for the PS3. That one might be the most simple, although the obstacle was finding a color bar image. But after a lot of pining around the internet, I got my hands on 480p, 720p, and 1080p color bars that I was then able to port over to my PS3 on a flash drive, and then like open up the image and then run the calibration from there. Since the PS3 supports the ability to open up JPEGs or PNGs, it's just a matter of getting the color bar image file. But for other consoles like the Super Nintendo and other cartridge-based ones, you're going to have to get yourself a flash cartridge like the EverDrive or other things to run the 240p test suite from, which they're a little pricey, so I hope to one day get them for all my consoles to run this calibration, but for now, Super Nintendo's where we're at. But I do have 2 Super Nintendo console types to demonstrate, the 1-chip and the 2-chip system, plus the Wii and the PS3, so 4 examples total for this video. As far as the calibration process itself, it's a lot simpler than you think it would be. Again, I would refer you to the Wobbling Pixels video guide and the console mods wiki for information, but in short, you're basically dialing in, you're balancing out the PR and PB gain and offset values one at a time, and then finishing it off with the Y gain and Y offset to complete the calibration. Once you understand how it works and you're used to doing it, it's like a less than 5-minute kind of thing. Doing it the first time was the challenge because I'm learning my way through it. But then when I had to repeat those steps for the 2-chip system, my Wii and the PS3, it was a pretty straightforward process. It'll take you time though. I don't think I've like got it perfect yet. I've done it like multiple times now, and it's a gradual process of kind of figuring it out and getting it all dialed in. So it's an ongoing thing, but I'm extremely happy with what I've got result-wise for these examples today. That really shows a drastic difference of before and after. And with that said, let's get to the before and after. So, enjoy these examples. Examples from a 1-chip modified Super Nintendo, mod process done by RetroFixes, a standard unmodified 2-chip SNES, the Wii, and then the PS3, all of which are using Component. You can do calibration for S-Video, but it's a little different, and components / RGB is what I'm most interested in doing, so that's what's in this video here. So here we go, enjoy the comparisons, and we'll see what we all think.
Oh. Oh. Hmm? Yeah.
And there we have it. It is quite dramatic, isn't it? It almost brings to mind what it looked like when I was comparing like 2-chip to 1-chip systems straight up, or the 1-chip to the modded 1-chip. It's a huge benefit in terms of that brightness and color quality. Giant differences. With the PS3 in particular, there's appreciable differences, mostly with the blue sky, but you know, you just use HDMI at that point. I just wanted to do a component here just for fun because I could. But for the SNESs and the Wii, it's pretty dramatic, and you can see how it's well worth doing if you have the means. The Wii being the more accessible one, because soft modding a Wii is not hard or difficult, and the app is available, so you can run the 240p test suite and just go with it. There's obviously a barrier in terms of price for the other consoles, but the results, as you can see, I think are well worth it. I'm very happy with this process and what it does, adding a whole new layer of value to the 5X Pro, which is saying something because the firmware updates alone for that thing have made it so incredible over the years. Now I've opened up a whole new territory of squeezing quality out of my systems. Very awesome stuff. And again, check out the RetroBoost Discord server. I got those both examples of all this stuff as I was making it, but then those color bar files, if anyone's interested, they'll be in the server there, the retro gaming chat one. I'll pin a message in there, so that's what we'll do. Cool. Hope you found this helpful, informative. It was definitely a cool process to go through and put together really cool stuff. So hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Roly-poly cat engaged.